Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have one kid,
How old is he or she?
He turned a year old last week, actually. Yeah. Yeah, he's keeping me awake and he's keeping me really fit, I gotta say. Like and he just learned to walk as well. So like when I thought he was fast on his hands and knees, he's ridiculously fast on 2 feet. So whether I want to or not, I'm like running after him all the time.
How do you balance fatherhood and your hectic life?
Not
I know
well.
that you've already had like a meeting and you have a sound check later and performing later and
Yeah, that's not really the most rock and roll thing to be talking about.
No,
but
sorry.
I mean, like, kind of ruining my image here, just saying. But yeah, it's a difficult life, but it's if you think about it, you've got a job, everyone's got a job.
Yeah.
So like my job doesn't just mean I get up and rock, you know, my job means I get up and I make sure that the facilities for my musicians and my team are put together and my gigs are booked up for the next 6 months and my travel arrangements are sorted out. And I mean, I work with a PR person, I work with an agent, I work with several agents in fact. And then there's also rehearsal time with the group, and there's also songwriting, and right now I'm in studio finalizing the album, so you can see how it all adds up. And the main difference between being a parent and a year ago to when I wasn't a parent, even when my wife was pregnant, was that I would go away for long periods of time. I still tour now, but I kind of keep it to a maximum of about 10 to 14 days, about 2 weeks away. And even now, we're working with Theo Kraus in the studio, because we both have young kids, we'll set a morning regime. We'll get through as many takes as we can and lay down what we have to, and I like to sit in on the mixing. So that'll go till about like 5, 6 o'clock, and then we'll go home and then like, you know, have dinner with the kids and bath time and, you know, dad stuff and mom stuff. And luckily he goes to bed pretty early, and then when that's done, I just spend a little bit of time with my wife, and then I'm back in studio for the night shift.
Okay.
And that's kind of how we've been doing it, double timing it really, just to get the job done.
All right, well, I've always wanted to ask you this question, actually. Before you were on Idols SA, you did the Disneyland One Day Idols thing, and you got the golden ticket.
Yeah.
But you didn't actually go to the audition.
No.
Do you ever think, like, what would have happened if I went?
I know what would have happened. It would have been a spectacle, and a lot would have been said about it because I'm not from there. And in fact, the team at American Idol were very cool. The Disney World American Idol team. They were trying to find a way for me to get back, trying to find a way for me to extend my visa, discussing possibilities like accommodation and stuff like that. And it reached a point where I felt like it would have been a little bit of a betrayal, because it's not really reality TV then, is it? Because I would have been going there and they would have had the knowledge of the fact that I'm not from South Africa and try to play that off on the audience. They would have given me a place to stay where they're not giving other people a place to stay ahead of time. And as, I mean, we discussed it for a month. And after a month, I just kind of decided, like, you know what, it's not, it just, everything about it doesn't quite feel right. And they were starting to feel the same way. And we shook hands, metaphorically, and moved on. And I woke up the day before the South African audition with a lot of confidence because of what I'd done in America. And, you know, just said, all right, guys, no one look for me tomorrow. I'm going to be up at like 3 a.m. and I'm going to go stand in the queue. And I did. No one knew what I was going to sing. No one knew anything. I mean, I just did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a weird trip, actually, to think that was like 3 years ago. And this is my job now. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Now you're going to be performing on Idols this year.
Yeah, that's right. I'm on the Top 9 show, I think it is, the 28th of September. They're calling me back to sing my new single, Lonely. As I get on the show, the album will be released. So it's pretty cool timing, because they like to ask you, what are you doing these days? And you know, what's cooler than like a 1,000 person audience that you get to sing in front of, and then a 3 million person audience watching back at home. So yeah, I said yes.